We trust it with our work, our questions, our creativity. We've welcomed it into our lives as a powerful new partner.
But in a recent, candid statement, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman issued a startling warning about our faith in his creation. He said, and I quote, "People have a very high degree of trust in ChatGPT. It should be the tech that you don't trust that much."
You're watching Cyborg Digest, where we break down the smartest tools and tech in minutes. No fluff, just what's useful.
Part 1. The Trust Paradox. That warning comes amidst a wave of recent headlines, where OpenAI CEO Sam Altman admitted his surprise at how blindly users trust AI systems. He stated that this high degree of trust is misplaced because these tools have a dangerous side effect, a phenomenon that developers call hallucination. An AI hallucinates when it generates information that is nonsensical, factually incorrect, or completely fabricated. It's not a bug exactly, it's a fundamental trait of how these large language models work. At its core, the AI is just a hyper-advanced prediction engine. It's trying to figure out what a good answer should look like, based on the trillions of data points it was trained on. Sometimes, looking plausible is more statistically likely than being correct. The result is a ghost in the machine, an AI that can sound more confident when it's lying than when it's telling the truth. Part 2. Anatomy of a lie. So how do we get a handle on this? To move beyond anecdotes, we can look at formal research. In a 2024 paper titled AI Hallucination Towards a Comprehensive Classification, a team of researchers from Shandong University and Shandong Normal University did exactly that. After analyzing hundreds of AI errors, they identified key categories. First, the most straightforward, factual errors. This is a direct contradiction of verifiable reality. Think of it as the AI failing a basic history test. It might confidently tell you that a major world event happened in the wrong year or attribute a famous quote to the wrong person. But factual errors are simple mistakes. Unfounded fabrication is far more deceptive. This is where the AI doesn't just get a fact wrong. It invents a fact from nothing. It's not just failing the test, it's writing a brand new, fictional textbook to answer the question. This happens when the AI tries to fill gaps in its knowledge, creating plausible-sounding details to satisfy your request. Finally, and perhaps most subtly, are reasoning errors. This is where the AI has all the correct facts, but connects them incorrectly. It's like a student who has memorized all the formulas for a physics exam, but doesn't understand the principles behind them. They can state the facts, but they can't apply them to solve a new problem. The AI's logic simply breaks down, and these academic categories show up in the real world. As Sam Altman himself described the unfounded fabrication error, you can ask it to define a term that doesn't exist and it will confidently give you a well-crafted but false explanation. A classic real-world example is asking an AI for sources. You might ask for 5 academic papers on a complex topic. The AI, wanting to be helpful, can invent papers with plausible titles and authors. The citations look real, the journals seem legitimate, but they're ghosts. The AI has fabricated a convincing lie to fulfill your request. A reasoning error is more subtle. For instance, you could describe a room's layout, then ask a multi-step spatial question, like, if I move the chair from the north wall to the east wall, what is now to the left of the bookshelf? The AI might correctly track the first step but fail the second, misinterpreting the new relationships. It can process facts, but it often struggles with dynamic multi-step logic. Finally, a behavior the research paper calls overfitting, but we can think of it as the people-pleaser problem. What happens when a user asks a subjective or leading question, like, since everyone agrees minimalist design is best, explain why? Instead of challenging the flawed premise that everyone agrees, the AI's sycophantic tendency kicks in. It accepts your premise as fact and generates an answer that simply reinforces your bias. Part 3. The Skeptics Toolkit.
So how do we, as practical cyborgs, navigate a world where our tools can be such convincing liars?
It requires a new set of skills. Here is your Skeptics Toolkit. First, trust but verify. Think of the AI as a brilliant conversationalist who read every book in the world but didn't check if they were fact or fiction. It can speak with immense authority on almost anything, but it doesn't actually know anything. For any critical piece of information, a date, a name, a legal precedent, a medical fact, you must assume it's a rumor until you prove it otherwise with a primary source. Second, demand a source. This is your most powerful tool against fabrication. Don't just ask for an answer. Ask where the answer came from. Force the AI to show its work. A real answer will be tied to a real, verifiable URL. A hallucination will often expose itself by providing fake links or by admitting it cannot source its claim. This one simple step forces the AI to ground its response in reality. And 3, use it as a starter, not a finisher. The best metaphor for a generative AI is a brilliant but sometimes erratic intern. You would never ask an intern to single-handedly publish your company's annual report. You would, however, ask them to generate a first draft. Use the AI to overcome the blank page, to brainstorm ideas, and to structure your thoughts. But you are the editor-in-chief. Your expertise, your judgment, and your critical thinking are the final, most important step.
The most powerful tools are rarely the safest. They demand skill, skepticism, and wisdom from their user.
Understanding the flaws of AI doesn't make it weaker. It makes us stronger. And that's exactly what this channel is about. This is Cyborg Digest, your weekly briefing on the tools and ideas that are upgrading humanity. We'll break down the latest in AI, explore the science of cognitive enhancement, and test the practical tech that extends your capabilities. If you believe technology should be a tool for empowerment, you're in the right place.
That's your upgrade for today. Subscribe to stay ahead or get left behind. This is Cyborg Digest.